So a couple of weeks ago, Google invited me to Paris for an early look at the Pixel 11 lineup. That was the 11, the 11 Pro, the 11 Pro XL, the 11 Pro Fold, and also the new Pixel Watch 5. And there are quite a few changes here, including a few downgrades that no one's really talking about. So here's everything you need to know, starting with the Google Pixel 11, the base model, which has now gone up in price. It's $899 now, up from the previous $799, or £879 here in the UK from $799. Now, you do get double the base storage from 128 to 256, but that bar of entry has now risen. But okay, what's actually new here? Well, we do get a brand new main camera sensor that's also a larger sensor. So it's still the same resolution at 48 megapixels, but it is now 1/1.56 inches compared to the previous 1/2 inch sensor. That should give us, according to Google, 56% more light capture. The ultra-wide and telephoto are the same as before, despite some leaks saying that we would actually be losing a telephoto. And the even better news is that the digital zoom now goes up to 30x, that's in super res, from the 20x of before. That's thanks to the new Google Tensor G6 chip. That chip brings us 25% faster web browsing, 15% faster app launch speeds, and also a 50% more powerful neural engine when used with the latest Gemini Nano models. These are all Google's own numbers, and one thing to note is that they haven't really given us any CPU and GPU gains here. So stay tuned for my full testing, because at least from these numbers, it seems like the G6 is a very minor improvement over the G5. Now, we do get a lot of camera software improvements. There is an on-screen teleprompter. You also get LUTs via these new camera looks, and also something called Magic Capture, which is kind of like Best Take, but it works for videos. So you record a video and then it's gonna pick the best images, the best frames, edit those for you, and give you the best photos out of a video, which is pretty cool. Plus, we also get the new Titan M3 security chip, which is the first change since the Pixel 6's Titan M2. And apparently now this is built for a post-quantum cryptography era. The design is pretty much the same as before, although the camera bump is now 40% thinner, which means less wobble, and technically no bump if you use it with one of the official Google cases. The body is now 8 grams lighter, which brings it to under 200 grams at 196. And the battery is larger, but only by, not even kidding, 15 milliamp hours, which won't make any difference. But what I do think will make a pretty big difference is faster wireless charging at 25 watts now from the previous 15. Plus also a brand new extreme charging mode, although we don't really have any numbers from Google though, so I'm not really expecting anything dramatic here. And lastly, we do get some new colors. Stats show this beautifully vibrant hibiscus plus the carried over frost and obsidian. Now let's talk about the Pixel 11 Pro, because we do get a lot more changes here. First off, the price is also higher, starting at $1099 from the previous $999. But we also get double the storage at $256. So it's technically the same price, just with a higher bar of entry. As for the actual changes, the screen is the main change. It can do 2400 nits in HDR from 2200 and 3600 nits peak from 3300. There's also a new anti-scratch coating for up to twice the scratch resistance, so hopefully it will compete with Apple's latest panel on the iPhone 17 Pro that scratches at a level 7 with deeper grooves at a level 8, according to a famous tech person. As for the cameras, the main sensor is brand new, so it's still the same size, 1/1.3 inches, but better in low light according to Google. Now, the ultra-wide appears unchanged, but the telephoto is also brand new. It's still 5x, still 48 megapixels, but we do actually get a much larger sensor here. 1/1.95 inches from the previous 1/2.55. This actually makes it one of the largest telephoto sensors in the industry. For example, Samsung uses a 5x 50 megapixel 1/2.52 inch sensor, and Apple uses a 4x 48 megapixels 1/2.5 inches. Of course, the Chinese manufacturers Oppo, Vivo, and Xiaomi, they do have larger sensors at around 1/1.4 inches, but Google is now the best out of the big three. And thanks to this new telephoto and the new Tensor G6, we can do up to 120x ProRes zoom, up from the previous 100x. And in Google's demo, it actually works surprisingly well, even on this cactus here. There's also instant night sight, so night photos can be taken up to 4.5 times faster, and we finally have portrait mode on the 5x lens. which is about time, Google. We can also do 8K with video boost now, which we couldn't do before, as well as with stabilization enabled. And on top of that, of course, we get all of the Pixel 11's camera software improvements like camera looks and magic capture. Then wireless charging is faster here too, 25 watts from the previous 15, but the battery is actually smaller, 4,850 from the previous 4,870. A pretty small drop, so I don't think the battery life would be any different due to the better efficiency of the Tensor G6. But still, it is a downgrade, and there are 3 more downgrades here. The next one is the RAM, which goes down to 12 gigabytes from the previous 16, but only on the base 256 gigabyte version. If you buy the 512 or the 1 terabyte, you'll still get 16 gigs of RAM. Then we also lose that temperature sensor that we've had ever since the Pixel 8 Pro. I personally never used it, but yeah, it was pretty much pointless. And something else that got dropped is the Google AI Pro bundle that has dropped from 12 months down to 6. But aside from that, design-wise, I think the redesigned camera module looks way cleaner, and we also get 4 new colors. We get Canyon, Olive, Fog, and Matte Obsidian. Matte because, yes, the frame is now matte. We finally have a matte frame on a Pro Pixel. And of course, you can pair any of these colors with a nice looking wallpaper, like our brand new Gleaming Glass pack by Wall Media. You can grab this and so much more from WallpaperZ.com, where you can get up to 50% off. And really, the last new feature of the Pixel 11 Pro is probably the biggest one as well, and that is the new HiLight feature. This is essentially that leaked Pixel Glow feature and something that the base Pixel 11 does not have. It's basically an array of LED lights that sits underneath the flash and doubles as a multicolor identification light. So when you flip your phone over, it will glow into a specific color for someone of your choice from your contacts. And this will also work not just in first-party apps, but also in third-party apps like WhatsApp. Unfortunately, it doesn't support third-party notifications at all, it's just for contacts, but it does work with Gemini, which I think is probably the best use case for this, seeing Gemini think in real time, even when you have your phone flipped over. But still, at the end of the day, it is a gimmick that you probably will be able to live without. Which brings me to the Pixel 11 Pro XL. This is basically a larger Pixel 11 Pro with a 6.8-inch display from the 6.3 on the Pro. And everything that the Pixel 11 Pro gets, the XL gets as well. The only difference, of course, is the price. It's $12.99 now, so $100 more than before. And that's for the base 256 gigabyte version, which once again also has 12 gigs of RAM instead of 16. Yeah, I do find it crazy that a non-foldable phone can cost this much. But I guess given the current RAM and storage crisis, which is expected to last until at least 2028, you know, we cannot really be that surprised. And I guess the only other difference compared to the Pixel 11 Pro is the faster 45 watts of fast charging, which can get you up to 75% in just 30 minutes, or give you up to 15 hours of usage in just 15 minutes. Yeah, this is honestly one of the fastest charging speeds I've ever seen on a phone. Now, the battery is 85 mAh smaller, but otherwise, this phone is basically the same as the 11 Pro. Which brings me to the Pixel 11 Pro Fold. Definitely the most exciting of the bunch, at least for me, and this is also the one that actually comes with the biggest changes. But first, the price. It's $18.99 now, up from $17.99 of before. That's for the base 256 gigabytes of storage model. Although you do actually get 16 gigabytes of RAM by default, as opposed to the 12 gigs of all the base Pixels. Now, the cover screen is bigger at 6.5 inches from the previous 6.4 inch. That's thanks to the much thinner bezels, and it is also noticeably brighter. 2400 nits in HDR from 2000 and 3600 peak from the previous 3000. And the inner display is also significantly brighter, basically the same brightness as the cover screen, and that's 2400 in HDR from 1800 and 3600 peak from 3000. So both of these displays are now equally as bright. And now let's talk about the cameras. So the main sensor is actually the same one as on the base Pixel 11. So it's a 1/1.56 inch main sensor from the previous 1/2 inch for 56% more light intake. The ultra-wide and telephoto, however, are unchanged. So we still have around a 10 megapixel sensor for both, which are also pretty small sensors. The good news, however, is that the maximum digital zoom is now 30x from the previous 20x. Aside from this, wireless charging is faster at 25 watts from the previous 15. However, the battery is also smaller here. But overall, I would say the biggest change is the design. Especially the back with its larger and darker camera island. I think this looks so sleek. I also love the new colors. We get Obsidian, which is really the first black Pixel Fold since the 9 Pro Fold, so that's awesome. And then we also get Olive, which in my opinion is so much nicer than last year's Jade. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the Pixel 11 Pro Fold also gets the HiLight feature of the Pro models. So that's all nice, but it's really the body that makes the bigger difference, as the 11 Pro Fold is now finally thinner. 10.1mm when folded from 10.8 and 5mm when unfolded from the previous 5.2. And yes, this is even thinner than the previous Pixel 9 Pro Fold, which used to be Google's thinnest foldable, although it's still noticeably thicker than the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra, at just 4.1mm when unfolded and 8.9 when folded. And the crease is just as visible as before, with no creaseless tech like Samsung and Oppo have been doing. But on the brighter side, it is lighter. It's 239 grams from 258, although it's not quite Z Fold 8 level, that's like 201 grams, but still better than the 10 Pro Fold. And on top of that, Google also claims that they now offer 3 times more durability on the 11 Pro Fold, thanks to a brand new composite back and also a much more durable hinge. Plus, we still get that same IP68 level of water and dust resistance. Plus, all the previously mentioned Pixel 11 Pro software, as well as Action Pan and also a half-screen teleprompter for recording yourself. All in all, this is still a pretty solid update. I just wish that Google had made it even thinner, because when this launches in just about a week or so, this will be the thickest foldable out there. Probably even thicker than the upcoming iPhone Ultra, which is already said to be quite thick. And lastly, we have the Pixel Watch 5, which is also more expensive now. It's $399 from the previous $349, although the larger 45mm only sees a $30 increase to $429. Now, the design is very similar to last year's, but there is this new satin pyrite color, which kind of completes Google's green hero color of the year for the entire lineup. Then there's also a new chip, kinda. It's basically an overclocked Snapdragon W5 Gen 2 for up to 20% faster processing, plus double the storage. 64 gigs from the previous 32, a slightly larger battery by 7 or 10 million powers depending on your size, and then also new one-handed gestures, which work quite similar to Apple's, where you can pinch or tap your fingers to control your watch with one hand. But really, the highlight feature of this year when it comes to the Pixel Watch 5 is in terms of health. We get a lot of new health features here. There's blood pressure trends, there's also insulin resistance trends, there's sleep, breathing quality, also a brand new readiness score to compete with Whoop, bedtime automation, smart wake alarms, a new Google Health Coach, and a ton more. Although, keep in mind that the big ones like blood pressure and insulin resistance, those will only arrive in September. And I've got a feeling that a lot of these will also hit the Pixel Watch 4 in an update. So if you've got a Pixel Watch 4, obviously don't upgrade, but if you've got an older Pixel Watch, then I feel like the Pixel Watch 5 is a really nice one to upgrade to. And there you go. This is the entire Pixel 11 lineup. I should mention that there's also new Pixel Buds Pro 2s in that same green, which I don't really get to film, and also supposedly a brand new Pixel tracker, which wasn't at the briefing, so I couldn't really film it. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on all of the announcements, and you subscribe for my hands-on day one coverage as soon as I get all of the new Pixels here in the studio. Don't forget to check out our app WallpaperZ for some stunning designs like this one next to me. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.